She's back and just as synthetic as ever. Kamala Harris says she's not running for governor of California, but she clearly is, amazingly enough, looking at 2028, and she's touting her big new book.
With candor and reflection, I've written a behind-the-scenes account of that journey.
The only problem with that is that there's no way this book shows candor or reflection, and is doubtful that she wrote it herself. Besides that, she's being totally truthful and sincere about it. Hey, everyone, I'm Rich Lowry of National Review, where we defend truth, justice, and the American way every single day. Now, Harris went on The Late Show to talk about her book more, the supposed late-night comedy show where all Democratic politicians go to get even more sympathetic treatment than they would get on CNN. Take a look.
Listen, I am a devout public servant. I have spent my entire career in service of the people. And I thought a lot about running for governor. I love my state. I love California. I've served as elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator. But to be very candid with you, when I was young in my career, I had to defend my decision to become a prosecutor with my family. And one of the points that I made is, why is it then when we think we want to improve a system or change it, that we're always on the outside on bended knee or trying to break down the door? Shouldn't we also be inside the system? And that has been my career. And recently, I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken.
All right, well, she's concluding that the system is broken, coincidentally, after she happened to lose a close presidential race. And what was most broken about the system in 2024? It was that almost the entirety of the Democratic and media complex lied about the state of the President of the United States, trying to hide his decline until they gave him a hook in the middle of the campaign and put in a new candidate who hadn't won a single vote in a primary or caucus. That is pretty broken, and Kamala Harris obviously was complicit in it because she lied to the American people about the President of the United States' mental and physical state, and she was the beneficiary of this entire scheme. Pretty rich. Here's what she says she's going to do next.
I want to travel the country. I want to listen to people. I want to talk with people. And I don't want it to be transactional where I'm asking for their vote.
You know what that is? It's a listening tour. A listening tour is one of the most cliched tactics in American politics. People who are getting into politics or politicians who are looking at a new race will very often say, well, this isn't about grubby politics. I just want to go hear what the voters have to say, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do. That's exactly what she's doing here, except for she's making it sound as though it's some soulful sacrifice on her part, when clearly she's going to go around listening and then sometime in 2027 say that she is going to run. And look at this other amazing insight she has.
To be out there and to talk with folks and remind them of their power and their importance in making a difference.
Well, one of the things...
I mean, I just want to put a fine point on this. You can never let anybody take your power from you. You can never let anybody take your power from you.
What does that mean? It's so Kamala Harris. At first, it sounds kind of inspirational. It sounds like she'd be on a Hallmark card. And then you think about it. What does it mean? How would any president of the United States take your power away? We live in a constitutional republic with strongly protected individual rights. How would that be possible? We have congressional elections every 2 years, a presidential election every 4 years. How is a president going to take any one person's power away? And how is that person going to prevent it? It is utterly meaningless. But Stephen Colbert has some thoughts.
I mean, just hearing you describe that reminds me of something that it's so easy to forget now, because the national mood is so grim in many ways, and people are so shocked by the abuses and the abhorrent corruption and the violence against neighbors here happening in the United States by our government, and the free rein being given by Congress and the Supreme Court to this president. That just less than a year ago, things were very joyful. There was actually a lot of hope associated with your campaign, and there was a lot of promise that we might actually not only keep this absolute barbarian out of the White House.
That's a pretty good 30-second synopsis of why the show is being canceled, right? Was there anything funny about that? Was there even any attempted humor in there or any great insight? No, it was a bog-level progressive sermonette that would appeal to a splinter of the country, and that's why Colbert is going away on late night. He did at least ask a question about Joe Biden.
When you saw Joe Biden walk on stage at that debate, and it did not go well, spoiler, it did not go well in that debate, therefore you became the candidate. At what point in the, say, month that followed that, did people start saying, you might need to be prepared for this?
Let me say something about Joe Biden. I have an incredible amount of respect for him. And I think that the way that we should be thinking about where we are right now is to remember that we had a president of the United States who believed in the rule of law, who believed in the importance of aspiring to have integrity and to do the work on behalf of the people.
What's most notable there is what's missing. No mention of Biden's market decline. No candor or reflection about her role in covering it up for so long, which is one reason that she and the larger Democratic Party have such a credibility problem, and a poor show all around. Stephen Colbert has an expiration date, but there's much more where that came from Kamala Harris.